What's up, everybody? It's your boy Devon Taylor here, aka Deezus, and this is my podcast, Deezus Take the Reel. No, this is not a religious podcast. It's a podcast where we're talking movies, we're talking life, we're talking all sorts of crazy and weird shit. And this episode is no different. I think we're gonna get very funny. We're gonna get real weird. I got a real funny and weird guy with me here today. He's in town doing some comedy. It is stand-up comedian Jaron Myers.
Yeah.
How you doing today, sir?
Dude, so good. So good.
Yes, I am. I'm super pumped to get you on here. Before we get into the opening segment, which is Who the Hell Are You? We'll get into that in a sec. Everybody knows how this show works, guys. This is Deezus Take the Reel every Tuesday. We got a new theme today. The theme of today is going to be Friendzone. So this is going to be a real fun time. So the reason I brought you on this show, Jaron, is because I had mad respect for you on your picture prank. You wanna fill the people in on, because I mean, you don't have to give away all the secrets if you don't like.
Right.
But I mean, I'm generally curious, obviously. Okay. So Jaron Myers, guys, I'm scrolling on Facebook one day, just minding my own business. Where was I? I think I was just drinking at Bears or something. I'm just scrolling, mind my own business. And then I see this post from Jaron, and I mean, I am dying. Like, it was so funny. It's the stock photos in picture frames at Walmart's and or Targets, which in this case both. Jaron Myers replaced all the stock photos with pictures of himself, and not just like one of them either. Like, you had so many different shots and everything too, like a wide variety of Jaron Myers all over. It was fucking hilarious. And then I see other people like seeing it and like sharing it on my timeline. I mean, I was dying. Like, what? So how the hell did this even happen?
Well, usually most of my ideas, what the dumb things that I do are my friends, like when we're all hanging out or something, someone says like, wouldn't it be really funny if someone did, whatever? And then I write it down. And then I just don't care. I'll do it. And so one day I had a few hours to kill, and it ended up being like an 8-hour project, because
I was about to say, like, I bet this took a little time.
It did, because I had to choose. I chose what photos. I had to go to the store and see what their stock photos look like and
what their dimensions were and everything.
Yeah. So I took a picture of the normal shelf. I had to see what frames like you could open and which ones were like sealed. So I had to kind of figure out what I was how far I was willing to take this.
Did you take notes?
On my phone. Like, I had this. Like, this was planned
legit.
out. This was and I think that's what has set most of my shenanigans, I'll call them, I guess, apart from the people, is that like I do the research.
You make this an operation.
I make it like I do it. If I'm gonna do something, I want people to look at it and be like, Jaron is the most extra person that I have ever heard of. And so I looked, I got the sizes at both Target and Walmart. Then I went back to Starbucks. I spent a few hours photoshopping the Mainstays logo onto my pictures. So like, because the Mainstays logo goes across the photo, it's got that blue circle. It's like 4x6, 5x7, 8x10, and then the bottom corner, it's got the dimensions on there. Like, I made it look like this is a legit Walmart photo. Then so I did that for all of, like, and I did different pictures, obviously. And then for Target, theirs is just black and white photos, so they don't have anything printed on them. So that was pretty easy. I just had to figure out the dimensions. So
and then would you do this just like late at night or something?
No, this is middle of the day. I don't have a day job. This is what I did for that whole afternoon. Like, I went to Walmart at 9 a.m. and then sat down at Starbucks at like 10 a.m., started photoshopping stuff, left there at 2, because it took a few hours to kind of figure out the dimensions and figure out how I was going to print and all that stuff, and then went to Staples and spent $50 to get so many of these printed and cut. Like, I was about to
say that it might have been $50, not too pricey, but I mean, it's worth it.
Here's the thing. I have a budget. So I have like $100 a month budgeted for stupid internet things. Like, this is my life.
That big time. I love that.
So that came out of that budget. Which is stupid. Like one time I did a thing where one of my neighbors a bunch of people in my neighborhood had yard sales, but they put up a bunch of signs on this one pole, but they didn't put information about their yard sales. So the pole ended up having like 6 signs that just said yard sale with an arrow, and they're pointing different directions. And so it's like you could literally go any way and hit a yard sale. I was like, what's the point of your sign? So I went and spent money on like cardboard and spray paint, and I made my own signs, and I covered the entire telephone pole, like as far up as I could reach down to the very ground, with just signs pointing in every direction. So it's just stupid stuff that I spend money on.
I think that's so great. Like that's so great.
So yeah, so the photos I just did, and then I went to Target and Walmart, and I sat in the aisle. I have a folder with all of them in it. So like one pocket in the folder is the 4x6s, one pocket's the 5x7s, and then it opens up, and that's where the 8x10s are. And so I just went in, got a shopping cart at each place, and looked like I got a few items in the shopping cart to look like I was shopping.
Now, were you dressed in heist attire in all black, or are you trying to blend in?
No, I was trying to play the I'm a normal customer kind of role. You know, I went and got I got a few calendars. I got some towels, you know, all in the home section, and then I just went to the photo frames, and I looked like I was just looking at the photo frame. Like I would pull it off the shelf, and at the Walmart one, you
had to be pretty quick about it too, right?
Yeah, Target took me a little while because it was the first one they did, and I was really nervous about being caught. And security walked past me like 3 times and didn't notice. And the Target just had I'd replaced all of them at Target. Walmart, you know, there's some of them that are sealed, so I couldn't replace it without breaking the seal. But Walmart, like straight up, there was an employee stocking the shelf right behind me. So she came and started stocking the shelf, like literally the same aisle. Started stocking the shelf, and I'm just sitting there. Half of these photo frames have my picture in them, and I'm like halfway done with the project, and I'm like, I'm gonna get busted. So I just started pulling different things off the shelves. I went a little further down with the candles, waited for her to leave, and then went back and finished the project. And they just didn't notice, or they didn't care. Either way, that.
Oh man, like I think like it's so funny, and it's like, and that is, it's a prank that, like, the thing is, what you say is like, you're like, you know, you guys are talking about these ideas and you write it down, then you're like, but I'll do it. and that's really like more of the battle, like,
yeah,
because I mean, people have had this idea before, you know, to do this, but it's just like, you got to actually do it.
Wouldn't that be funny?
You got to pull it off and do it,
and you got to do it well.
And you did it very well. It looked very professional.
Yeah,
I love my heist movies. So I mean, I totally get, like, I can see you like
I planned this up for months.
I can see you maniacally just cutting stuff in your room, and you're just like,
oh man, like late at night with a lamp.
You just have, all it is the room is pitch black. And it's just your laptop, and you're looking at the picture, just giggling, and you're like,
I did giggle as I was photoshopping.
Oh,
the people
I bet
at
it was
Starbucks
so much fun.
Know me, like, so we've become, because I'm there all day, and they say, because I don't know, I put headphones and I listen to music, but apparently I giggle at my stuff too much. Like, so it looks like I'm just a freak who sits in the corner of Starbucks and is over there on his laptop, like.
Hey, that's okay. I do the same thing. I do the same thing. I'll be laughing at my own podcast at work sometimes. Like, I mean, if you're any sort of artist or creator or something, like, you gotta like your own shit. Mm-hmm. Like that's one of my mottos, is like, you gotta like your own shit.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, then whatever.
No, if you're not sold on what you're doing,
exactly,
then how do you expect anyone else to buy into it?
Yeah. So we spent a good amount of time on that. I think this is the farthest we've ever gotten to the show before getting to the introductory segment. Well, I mean, this is right. The show, but like, usually I have like the who the hell are you is within like the first like 3 minutes usually.
Sure.
But that's okay. I don't even give a shit. So you guys are already kind of getting the gist of who this guy is. Jaron Myers, from your mouth, you tell the people your words. Who the hell are you?
So I'm Jaron. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I live in Kansas City, Missouri. Originally from Mount Vernon, kind of the Springfield area. So I was around here for a while. Went to school at Evangel. It's a Christian college in Springfield. Dropped out of there. Started doing stand-up, and then that's where I've been doing full-time for the last, 4 years now. Yeah. And so...
So when you say full-time, like, how many days out of the year are you gigging?
I say full-time as in, like, I don't have another job. This pays my bills. So I'm out every weekend, basically. So next weekend I have off, and that's the first weekend I'll have off since Valentine's Day.
Oh,
and Valentine's Day was the first weekend I had off since, like, August. So... I'm going a
You're
lot.
grinding it. Dude.
Yeah,
that's
dude.
what you gotta do. You gotta grind it out. But Jaron's a really funny guy. Because I've mentioned on the show I do stand up every once in a while. Usually I always end up sleeping. Like
really?
That's like the past like 2 shows. Like every time I'm like, man, I'm gonna do stand up tonight. I'm really excited. I got my set ready, and then I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take a nap real quick.
And it turns into you wake up at 4 a.m. You're like, no, what did I do?
That literally happens. I've woken up at like 1 a.m. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, dude. You lay down and take like a 10-minute nap. You're like, I'm just gonna get a power nap.
I mean,
in.
especially now because I used to never really be a napper, but it's the Gailey's life, you know. Like I fucking that breakfast diner life. I'm up in the morning super early, so it's like I used to never nap until I started working here, and then now I'm like, fuck, I come home from work, gotta take a nap before I do something productive. Like
I can't survive without naps. I take so many naps.
I'm a weird person. I don't like sleep.
Really?
As weird as that sounds, I don't like to sleep. Like I always feel like there's something I could be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like if I'm not editing or recording something, I'm watching a movie for something.
Sure.
Or just watch a movie just because, you know, because like that's like my homework essentially is I just watch movies.
I feel like taking a nap is a big waste of time, but also I just hate feeling tired, which is probably why I drink so much coffee, like to a point where it's like this is unhealthy. But like I just don't like the feeling of you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I used to be an athlete like in high school and stuff, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'm still like, I'm not like in great shape because everyone knows I don't work out. I don't gym. But I wear
a Fitbit, so that's about the extent of where I'm going. I wear this around because I'm still a little chubby, you know, and people look at me like, well, he's trying.
He's doing something.
He's trying.
Yeah, like,
he knows how many steps he's taken today.
Yeah, so it's like I can operate on very low hours of sleep. Like 6 hours is prime for me. That's all I want.
Yeah,
I don't want to sleep any more than that, and that's primo. But I function regularly on 4 hours. I'm solid.
I either sleep for 2 hours and then I'm wide awake and ready to go, or I sleep for 11 hours. There is no in between. It's like,
see, I do that system though. Like, you know, some people do understand this. That like I said, sleep low amounts. Then it's like then you have one time a week where you're just like, bam, 10 hours of sleep, bam. And I definitely do that. Like Sunday to Monday, I'm like, oh, I'm going to sleep a lot today.
Right. I think naps just became a thing because I would wake up super early for flights, and then I would sleep on the plane, and then I had to get on a different plane. And then I get there, and they're like, here, we're going to take you to a hotel. And I'm like, cool, I'll take a nap there. Like,
okay.
It's just intermittent.
So we're on this sleep subject here.
Okay.
And I've been obsessed with, I've been coming up with these really weird hypotheticals lately, like very, very sci-fi minded. Like, do you watch Black Mirror at all?
Yes. Yeah.
It kind of,
dude, I love Black Mirror.
So these are kind of some Black Mirror scenarios-ish, but not as horrific. These are just like scientific what ifs.
Right.
And one of my latest one is, so what if this is in an era in the near future, say 100, 200 years, the human race has evolved past needing sleep. You don't need sleep. Like your body does not require sleep to function. Yeah. Some people still do, like just because, I guess, like, I don't know. Like napping becomes like some weird like bourgeois like we nap. The nappers is what I call them. Like this is kind of a movie idea. But yeah, so you don't have to sleep, but now since your body doesn't require sleep and you know you're not sleeping, you only live 50 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like would you want to live in this world? Because like another caveat I came up with is you got to think school's going to be a lot different. So in this scenario, you go to school from 8 years old and then you graduate at 16. That's how school works in this world. Okay. Because like, you know, you have more time. School's most likely year round here. So you get done with school faster, but it's like you start a little bit later, you get done a little bit earlier. So that's also in the scenario. But so what do you think? Would you want to do it?
Oh, do I have an option? I get to choose to live that?
This is if you would want to live in the society.
I don't know. That's interesting. I like the idea. Here's the thing. Maybe not, because I use sleep as a reason to get out of too many things. So that's like my number one excuse is that if I'm hanging out with people late at night, and I don't want to be hanging out with those kind of people anymore.
I'm about to go to sleep, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm tired, but I'll literally go home and watch Netflix for like 2 or 3 hours longer than that.
Yeah.
I just was tired of being there. So I'd have to come up with other excuses. I think that's an interesting concept of, it's interesting. I think sleep has a purpose just because I think psychologically we have.
See, and that's what I'm thinking. Like,
yeah, I'm trying to think of like the ramifications for mentally, like socially, what that would do to us.
See, like, this will be, I don't know how many times I've quoted. Okay, actually, it wasn't on this podcast. It was on different podcasts. First time I brought up Twilight on Deezus Take the Reel, so you guys can not hate me.
You're bringing up Twilight.
I'm bringing up Twilight.
All right, I'm out.
No, come back, Jaron. No. So in Twilight, one of the funniest scenes in this movie is fucking Bella wakes up and Edward's chilling in the corner.
She's there.
And she's like, "What are you doing? It's like 3 a.m. He's like, "I don't sleep." And then she's like, gosh. "What?" And he's like, "Vampires don't need sleep." And then she was like, "Well, what have you been doing?" He's like, "But I like watching you sleep. It fascinates me." And I was just like, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And it's like, but think about Edward though. He's immortal, but also doesn't sleep.
Yeah,
that would fucking drive me nuts. Like, see, but like me, I also don't want to get old. Like, I am determined. Like, I'm gonna start working my ass off as soon as I turn like 35. I'm gonna be that old guy in like fucking real good shape. I don't want to be an old person.
Right.
And if I don't
want to be an old person who can't take care of themselves.
No.
Right.
I don't want to go past.
I think that's a lot of people.
I don't want to go past 75. That's kind of my cap. I think
okay.
I think I'm gonna have everything done that I want to get done. But I say in the no sleep world, I think I can accomplish everything I want to do before 50 easily.
Okay. So is your life valued based on what you can accomplish?
Like, I think there are things that I want to accomplish in my life, and this is a list that is not going to happen.
Sure.
Most likely. But I think I have like a baseline, and then there's just like, oh yeah, and then if I get time for these things, then I'll go on to the second tier.
Okay.
But I just think I got my shit. I think by 75, I will easily have done at least 90% of like what I want to do.
So your life worth and value is based on this list, on this like.
Well, it's not a physical list.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you have like your phone when you pull up and you're like, all right, well, I've done this.
I do keep lots of notes, but no,
I have tried chicken and waffles. Going to take that off the list. It's pretty tedious.
I'm real OCD. You would think I'd have a list, but no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that's a genuine question. Is your life valued by what you can accomplish and what you do? Or is it valued by your relationships and who you are as a person? And
that's a tough one. And I'm too cynical to answer that question.
Is it a different podcast?
Appropriately. Okay. Oh, no. Like, I'm too cynical to answer what my real answer would be.
No, what's your
real
answer?
My answer now is, like, I'm to a point, like, I'm ready to get the fuck out of Springfield.
Yeah.
And I've never, connected with people from my high school. None of that. Like, I'm just not about it. And so it's like, at the moment, like, I'm focusing on me. And it's like, I have me and my best friend, everyone knows, like, we've been friends for 8 years now. And that's like as real as I know friendship is going to get. Sure. Like, for real. Like, because like because especially in your early 20s is when you really get that like rotation of like, okay, here's somebody you think you might be friends with for a bit. And then two years. And it's like, oh, we've been friends 2 years. Cool. And then all of a sudden just drift apart. You know, it happens. Right. So it's like, I think I can measure my life more on, my accomplishments versus the relationships I make. I know I'm going to make relationships, but I know a lot of relationships aren't going to last either. You know what I mean? I'm satisfied. Me and my best friend, we got this shit. We're solid. And I'm just like, cool. I got one friend that I know is like a friend, like for real, like 100%. Like, I would never question it. Right. Everyone else is always like more of an acquaintance in my mind.
Sure.
I'll say friend, but it's like,
we're acquaintances.
You're my acquaintance. So and that will go ahead and start segueing into some more of the meat of the show. So we're talking Friends, right now. So the theme of the episode, guys, is Friendzone. Because we're talking. That
was a good transition. That was an impressive transition. Maybe it's not as good now that I'm like pointing it out.
No, it is good because the fact that you pointed it out, because usually I point out my own transitions because I'm usually pretty shitty at it. So the fact
you're like, this is a transition.
So coming from your mouth, you guys heard it first. He said that was a good transition. I didn't have to say it, but. So we're talking the Friend Zone because the two movies we're talking Just Friends, the Ryan Reynolds classic, 2005 or is that 2007?
2005.
That's what I thought. And then I'll be sharing with Jaron. He hasn't seen it, but I'm gonna share with Jaron What If. It's a Daniel Radcliffe movie from 2013, also about the Friend Zone. It's the less comedic version. It's the more dramatic version.
Okay.
I mean, it's still funny, but it's the more serious.
I need to go watch it.
It's a real good one. So the game of this episode is because Deezus Take the Reel, we always have a game. It's always brand new, usually, and they are 95% always come up with like literally 10 minutes before we start recording. Jaron is a witness. I was on my laptop as soon as he got here. I was like, oh yeah, here we go. We're gonna do this. I plan things, kinda. So this game is called Escape the Friend Zone. So Jaron is a comedian. And you said you have some improv in your background as well.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I'm a real shitty improver. Improviser. I said improver. God. I'm surprised you didn't reach over and smack me just now. But anyway, so this is a little improv game, as most of the games are. And this is called Escape the Friend Zone. So I got 3 scenarios here.
Oh, good.
Do we need to... I don't think we need to refresh the people on what the friend zone is, because we're going to get a little more in-depth on that later.
I think if you don't know what the friend zone is...
For those of you who don't know, the quick version of the friend zone is, when you have a friendship... I can't say of different genders because you never know,
Right.
Lesbians get friend zoned too all the time, I assume.
It's when you have feeling for someone and they're like...
You're best friends, but at the same time, and you have those feelings and they might not have those feelings. And then once it's brought up, at the moment, it's either, let's try this, or it's, no, friends.
Yeah.
And then you know what it's about. Like friend zone, we're going to get more in depth about the friend zone a little bit. But that's the general idea of it. And people have always, they're like, ooh, like you'll see a post on Twitter and like, he did it. He escaped the friend zone. And it's like, I love those posts.
Yeah.
So I have 3 scenarios here.
Okay.
I'll present the scenario. I'm the girl here. Okay. I'm the girl. And I'm presenting you with this scenario.
Okay.
And you're going to try to finagle it to where you're not the friend. You're trying to be more the friend.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like you're trying to spin the situation in your favor. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. So we'll do like 2 minutes for each scene or so. Like we'll just kind of go a little bit with it. Make sense?
Sure.
Are you ready? Probably not.
So ready.
I don't care if you're
whatever this is gonna look like. Sure.
Okay. So escape the friend zone. The first scenario here is, will you come build this IKEA furniture for me? Hey, Jaron. Are you busy yet? Or are you doing anything?
No, what's up?
I'm really frustrated. I got this bookshelf, because I've been reading a lot of books lately. You bought. I'll get to that one that you bought me. Don't worry. It's on.
Oh, she would totally say that.
But I got this. But I got the bookshelf, and IKEA. The directions don't make any sense. I'm no good at that stuff. Like, and you're real good at building that stuff. Like, could you come help me out?
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah. Like, I mean, are you busy? Like, I mean, only if you're not busy. Like, I mean, I could really use your help though.
Yeah. Are you still gonna be there?
I mean, I do have some stuff I need to take care of. Like, if that's cool, like, I mean, I might send some emails on my laptop or something, or
Yeah.
I think I have some wine in the fridge. Maybe.
What if we do this together and then I'll buy you dinner afterward?
I don't know.
Shoot, that may have been too strong. Oh man. Oh dang.
You don't have to buy me dinner. What if we just ordered takeout? Would that be okay?
This is too realistic. This has happened to you before. Because that's straight up what would happen. Is that it'd be like, ah!
It's like girls don't even like. Girls try to like make it seem like they're trying to be nice or something. And it's just like, come on, like, you're being very obvious about this.
Yeah.
Okay. So you I did come in a bit strong.
I did. It went too strong. I think it's because I said buy you dinner. I don't think I would actually say that. I think what I would have said is that we can grab some food after, and then I would have paid for the food.
There you go.
I would have just done it.
Exactly.
I would have made the move.
And who knows? That could have gotten you out of the friend zone. But I'd say on this one, I'd say you got stuck there.
I did get stuck. At the end, I would have said, "Hey, baby, let me build your future like I built that bookcase."
Sealed the deal. Done.
Sealed it. She would have wooed. She would have, oh my goodness, I've waited so long for you to come out with your feelings. It would have been
# wet. All right.
Second scenario.
Scenario number 2. And I think these increasingly get harder. Actually, yeah, they definitely do. Don't peek.
I'm not looking.
Okay. Second scenario here. She's gonna ask you some advice about a guy at work that she's
God, no. This has happened. Okay. I'll tell you. Can I tell? Can we do this scenario? All right. No, I'll do the scenario. And
do you want to pick the workplace? Do you have a workplace where this happened, and then we can work that in?
Are we? So wait, are we coworkers? Is this what happened? What? Do the scenario again.
You're just my dude friend. He works with me. He doesn't. You don't work with us.
Okay.
You don't work with us.
Okay.
Unless you want to be coworkers.
No,
did this happen to you as coworkers?
No, just do the scenario. We'll go with this. We're gonna make it happen.
Hey, Jaron, I need some advice because you give me that guy's perspective, so I could really use some advice.
Yeah. What's up?
Okay, so there's this new guy at work. You know,
okay.
And he's real cute. He's real cute. I'm supposed to like kind of show him around tomorrow or whatever. So it's like I don't know if it would be too strong if I like ask him for like after work drinks or something. Like I'm supposed to show him around. And it's like I don't want to be like the work hussy. Right. So what do you think? Like what how would you feel as a guy like if I did that?
I don't think that would be as awkward as just treating him like your best friend for months and then asking him guy advice about someone you work with. I would be super passive aggressive about it is what I'm saying. So you're saying I shouldn't talk to him? Like, do you have a reason, Jaron? I think I can't. Here's the thing.
You're in the weeds already.
Dude, it's so bad because here's the thing. Like I've been in this exact position before and I wasn't super passive aggressive about it. I was just like, here's what I actually said. I couldn't get out of that situation. I couldn't twist it. You can't twist like that. Like, okay, so should I like ask him to drinks afterward? I'd be like, hey, I would have just come out with it. That's the moment where I would just say, hey, actually, ask someone else. I did this before where she asked advice and I was like, hey, ask someone else actually. And she was like, wait, why? And I was like, it just makes me uncomfortable.
I remember that in high school. I'd be like, no, I don't want to keep that secret. Like, I mean, I'm the wrong person. I'm the wrong person for that job.
But I wasn't like secret about it. I actually came out. That's when I was like, hey, but she knew I had a crush on her before.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like she knew.
Well, that's kind of shitty. Then.
For real. We had already had the
She already knows then. Like,
that's where it was like,
shitty.
Yeah, so that's the situation.
Because that's her trying to reaffirm, like, hey, don't forget.
Hey, don't forget.
You're in the friend zone.
We ain't ever going to be a thing.
You are not leaving.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Yeah, it is a tough one. My play would have been, because maybe you can't twist it, but you can always delay it.
You're right.
You can always delay it. That would have been my play.
Maybe work together a few times.
I would try to delay. Yeah, okay. I'd be like, especially not. I'd be like on the first week, like, what?
Yeah, that looks.
He's
desperate.
already trying to make friends. Yeah. Like, geez.
I think at least the girls that I go after would see straight through that though. They'd be like, okay, Jaron.
Okay. You're reaching there.
So I would go for the passive aggressive thing where I'm like, yeah, maybe you should just friend zone and then ask him advice about coworkers.
And then she'd just be like, well, not ask you for advice, and I'm definitely not asking him out. She's gonna be self-conscious either way.
Listen, if you're a female and you are listening to this podcast right now, and you routinely ask guy friends advice, imagine how Yahoo feels when you use their search bar to type in google.com, because that is what you're doing to your friend.
That's why I use Google Chrome. I don't feel bad about it because I'm just like
search
Google
bar
on
is-
Google.
yeah.
Like it's in the fam. So I mean, it's whatever. So yeah, it happens. It happens. All right. So this is the hardest scenario.
Okay.
I think you can pull this one off though, because this is a scenario. It's a double-edged sword.
Okay.
Okay. The final scenario, guys, is she asks you to come hang out with her and her parents because she wants her parents to get off her back about finding a boyfriend.
I've done this.
So that
All right.
that's the scenario here, right?
Oh, so good. Okay.
Okay, Jaron, I know I've asked you for like a million favors, but like this
Hey,
is
don't worry
a
about
real
it.
serious
Don't
one.
worry about it. Okay. Yeah. Just
Like,
what is it?
It's
You know I'm here
kind
for
of
you.
last minute, but you always come in real clutch for me. But okay, so you know my parents, like they've always been a little uptight,
Right.
and I'm 29 now, so I mean they're kind of asking questions, they're expecting some things out of me. They're getting
Sure.
up there, they're past 75, so you know what that
So
means.
their life has no meaning.
You know what that means. So they really want, and
Right.
I'm just tired of coming home for dinner and not having a boyfriend for them. And like Jaron, I mean, we're just so close, you know. So I
Yeah.
mean, I know you won't make it weird or anything, but like, would you come like
Totally.
pretend to be my boyfriend like and dinner?
Yeah, we could totally do that.
Like, and like how like what are you comfortable with? Because like, are you comfortable like? Do we hold hands? Like, do you think is kissing too much? Like, because I just want to convince them, but I don't want them to be, I want them to jump the gun.
Right. I mean, like, I think, we can go to dinner with them. I'll like put my arm around you at dinner. We can hold hands if you want. Like, yeah, we could totally do this.
But like, only when we're around them. I mean, when we're in the car, I mean, obviously, or walking.
Oh,
there.
yeah, obviously.
Totally,
obviously.
whatever.
No, we're totally, but when we're at dinner, yeah, we'll play it up. It'll be fun.
You're not gonna like, hold my hand like too soft or anything, right? Or
too soft? Devon, has someone asked you that before? What? This scenario. Oh, here's the thing. Here's
I don't even know.
Here's the thing about this scenario is that I don't think the gameplay would come into the conversation. The gameplay would come in because I am freaking good with parents. I will get parents to fall in love with me. Like, I am so, like, here's what's happened my entire life is parents want me to marry their daughters, but their daughters don't want to marry me. And that is like a true track record. Literally today, I dropped off my DVD to a girl, like to a mom of a girl I dated in high school. And she invited me in and made me a sandwich for like, seriously, and talked to me for like 30 minutes about my life.
Oh,
like,
that's awesome.
I am so good with parents.
Holy
So here's
shit, that's scary.
Here's what would happen is I wouldn't make it weird in the car before dinner, right? We would go to dinner. I would do, we would hold hands, we would play relationship or whatever, and we would giggle. I would make her parents fall in love with me. I would get her dad on my side
to ask you back.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
the key. And then you
that
gotta,
is the
then
key.
you gotta keep playing.
If you win
into
their
it.
parents over, because then the parents ask. If the parents are impressed with you, then they say,
"Oh yeah,
how's Jaron doing?"
Uh-huh.
So it would be a long game, but I would win that long game.
Yeah. Because the rookie mistake would be like, should we practice or something?
Yeah.
Like,
or like in the
that's
car,
the rookie mistake.
or
Getting
right
too
after
excited.
dinner, looking at her and being like, I really like pretending. Like, don't do that. The long game is win the parents over and then continue to be her best friend. All right? Continue to be there. All right? And then you have a strategic conversation later, even like a few days. You don't even wait for her parents to bring it up. You say like, hey, so like, was it believable? Did your parents think that? And then you just say, yeah, I really liked your family. They were cool. Boom, you are in, okay?
You're in there. And then then down the road, it gets to a point to where it's like you even like get like, hey, your parents aren't around. Like, stop holding my hand. Like, what the hell are you doing? And you get the reverse.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is
literally
this is how I got my girlfriend when I was in college. Because we went to her house for like fall break. And her dad like had guns, and I knew enough about guns, but I played dumb. I let him tell me all about his guns.
Show me every gun
for real.
You have.
I was like, dude, do you have more? And he was like, yeah. He had this whole shed. Took me out to the shed, was showing me around there.
Hey, I'm off work on Sunday. You want to go shooting?
Not even a joke, dude. I went back, just me and her dad. That was the gameplay, dude.
Oh, yeah. If you can get in with the dad, that's always the key.
But I mean, I genuinely liked her fan. Like, I wasn't like manipulating the situation, obviously.
And don't worry, ladies. Like, we're gonna get to the other side of the friend zone. Don't worry, we will get to your perspective. I mean,
right.
This is coming from
this
us
is from
right
our
now.
side. Where
this is from our side, the correct side. Girls are in denial about the friend zone. Like girls, if a girl's at least just admitted that it existed, it'd be a little bit better. But but we're gonna get to the other side. Sure. But that was a fun game. That was a good time.
I just enjoy your feminine voice and your attempt at being like, you're gonna hold my hand too soft.
Okay, that like how. I wanted to.
That's got to be somewhere in your brain that some girl said that to you, and then you laid here at night and you were like, "Hold her hand too soft." What did that even mean?
No, well, one, I have abnormally soft hands. That's a thing. That's a thing. I mean. Just touch my hand.
Your hands are soft.
I have but that's not what I was getting at. It was more of like, don't make it like seem like a sensual handhold or something. No, like just like don't do it like too soft, too tender. Don't be like, ooh, like this is holding hands, like because there's two different kinds of holding hands. I mean, there's in the church holding hands where it's like and that's hand to hand, and then you got interlock.
The waffle or pancakes, what we call it in the Christian circles.
I didn't even think about that. That makes total sense.
But there's also the other kind of holding hands where it looks natural and looks comfortable, like you've been holding hands before, and that's what you would want to do in front of your parents because it looks believable. Looks like we've been dating for a while.
I said, but it can't be too soft.
Not too soft, not too hard.
Oh man, yeah, no, that was a brain fart for me. But that will go ahead and do it for the game. That was a lot of fun. So before we get into the bulk of the show, of course, we have some housekeeping stuff. Guys, iTunes reviews. You know how I feel about those 5-star reviews. They make get a little movement in the downstairs going, if you know what I mean. I read those in the morning.
What do you can you explain?
I mean, come on. You wake up, you open the laptop.
You look at those
You Google your own podcast.
You feel lonely at 2 in the morning. And you
look at the reviews and you see a new 5-star review.
You think about your ex. You feel real alone at night. And you just open up those iTunes reviews.
Look at me now. Look what you missed out on. All 12 of these 5-star reviews.
Through your tears, you just start.
Oh, and they're all 5 stars too. There ain't no 3s up in here. But guys, 5-star reviews get you a shout out on the show. I will read them on the Deezus and T Money shows. I will read your iTunes reviews. So do those, and if you're a podcaster, I might slide you one too. Maybe. No, that's like a trade secret. I'm not supposed to say that on the air.
I'll slide you one too. As long as you don't hold my hands too soft.
So get those in, guys, and check out the Patreon account, guys. Patreon.com/Deezus Take the Reel. $1 a month can help make these shows bigger and better. We can do longer episodes. We can do more episodes. We can make Deezus and T Money its own thing instead of every other week. I know you guys love those. So, guys, Patreon, $1 gets you in the homies. $5 and $10 tiers, you get some perks. Including a monthly Skype session, some bonus content for you and only you. If you're into that kind of stuff. So check out patreon.com/Deezus Take the Reel. Now that I'm done asking for attention and money, let's go ahead and get into the bulk of the show, guys. The bulk of the show is where we are.
I'm going to need more gummies.
Oh, I can always get more gummies. I thought this was a bathroom break, but no, the gummies will be replenished.
I'm going to eat the rest of these.
Go for it, man. That's what they're there for.
I started eating them and I was like, those are dang good gummies.
These are some solid-ass fruit snacks. Like, each pack has at least 8 to 9 pieces in it.
I treat my guests with the highest quality.
Always.
These are so good.
Aren't they? They're really good. From Aldi's. Who does not sponsor the show unless you're into it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into the bulk of the show, guys. That's where we're breaking down the movies. So we're talking Friendzone. We got 2 Friendzone movies. One of them is a classic. One is one I think will be a classic, just nobody has seen it. So, but we're going to get into the popular one first. This is Jaron's pick. I asked Jaron which movie he wanted to talk about, and he said Just Friends is his favorite movie. So, Jaron, what made you want to pick this movie to start off with?
First of all, I've watched this movie like 6 billion times. Like, anytime I have friends over, I'm like, you got to see this movie. So I've watched this a lot. I watch it with new girls that I date to see like, you know, how they feel about it. It's one of those kind of things. I love this movie just because it's subtly funny. There's so many lines that if you're not paying attention, you miss. So you can watch it like 3 or 4 times, and each time you'll hear something new. You know, you'll hear like a little subtle line in the background. I just think that kind of writing's funny. But more importantly for the storyline is in high school, I was fat.
I was going to ask. I was kind of hoping you'd bring it up naturally. Oh, yeah. I didn't want to be like, Jaron,
dude,
were you fat in high school? I didn't want to ask. But you brought it up so organically. Go on.
I was fat in high school. Like obese, dude. And my biggest, I weighed 368 pounds.
What?
Dude, I was fat.
Oh, wow.
Like, so I'm 130 down right now. So I lost that in the last like year and a half.
Snaps for that.
But dude, I used to be like a whale. And so I got friend zoned. Like when I watched this movie the first time, I was like, this is my life. I was in love with a girl named Bailey Ketron, who like I thought was my soulmate. Man, we were best friends. Like we talked every day. Like she was perfect for me. I thought I was perfect for her.
Yeah.
And like that was a consistent pattern in my life. Like literally, one girl that I dated, I did get out of the friend zone at one point in my life. And we had been best friends for like a full year. And she said, "You're who I want to be with. You know, you're the kind of you're exactly who I'd want to end up with. I'm just not attracted to you." And like so. Like, for real, I had this. I was overweight, and then I lost a bunch of weight, and now I'm kind of like, where you at? Like, no.
You just try to pop up on our timeline in some fashion. Just by.
But, you know, I think I always thought when I was in high school, like, that was going to be my story one day, that I was going to lose weight, and I was going to go off and accomplish some things, and come back to my small town of 5,000 people, where everybody knew each other, and I would be cool. So, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I've had those movies where it's just like you watch this movie and you're just like, this is way too close to my life. I'm gonna do an episode in the future on have you seen That Awkward Moment?
Mm-hmm.
That movie, especially when it came out, it was me, my roommate Tyler, and the third guy would have been our friend Colin. Like it was so uncanny how close it was. It was scary.
Really?
I've seen this movie so many times, so that's an episode in the future. But yeah, so like I totally understand like watching a movie and you're just like, has somebody been filming me? Like am I getting Truman Showed?
You watch it and you're like,
I'm fucking getting Truman Showed.
But I was watching it on the before half where the end was almost like a hopeful for beginning for me, you know? Like I was like, one day I'll have a Ryan Reynolds story or whatever.
And of course, this is like when Ryan Reynolds started, hitting his stride.
Right.
Really starting to get into stuff. I mean, and you mentioned the dialogue and like the comedy itself, how subtly and like you said, like it sometimes if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
And that kind of has gone on to be Ryan Reynolds, like his thing.
Yeah.
You know, he has that he can nail that quick dialogue. Yeah, it's just like bam, 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 but he's not hitting you over the head with the joke. It's just
right.
Like,
it's just kind of there.
You know, and Ryan Reynolds, it makes him seem like he's always been like, yeah, I have a friend like that. He's always been that kind of guy. So I mean, it's hilarious. Like
I love that movie.
I haven't rewatched this movie in years, so like rewatch it before you came over here. Like I said, like the opening scene is one of the best opening scenes
of any movie ever.
Of any movie. It's so good.
Yeah.
And like you even like start describing it as you like came in, so Jaron shows up. He shows up a little bit early, so I'm at like the hour mark of this movie. Like Jaron just picks up like right where the movie is, starts quoting it like line for line, like just without even blinking. I was like, oh damn, like this is his jam.
This
and that's
is
what
my
I love.
movie.
Like
yeah.
A lot of people haven't picked their favorite movies, oddly enough, like when they
people
come
are
on the show.
Psychopaths.
Some people, they'll just pick a movie they wanted to talk about, which is fine. I give people complete freedom, but like for real, not a lot of people like pick their favorite movie. So it's like you showed up, like I could tell, like, oh, this is his movie.
This is my movie.
Like this is his movie. So what? So give me. So what are some of your favorite moments in the movie? Like just like the three moments that are just like
the opening scene. If you haven't seen it, Ryan Reynolds is in a fat suit, and the opening scene he is lip syncing along with all for one's I swear, which is the I swear, and like it just shows him in a fat suit, and you can actually watch the whole thing during the credits. I don't know if you've watched the credits of the movie.
Oh shit!
It like comes up and he does the whole song in his fat suit, and like
that's great.
It's
phenomenal. Fantastic. They did the fat suit, not the CGI fat that The Rock did.
Right.
That shit pissed me off.
Yeah.
CGI fat.
Like you can. It looks
Don
so
the fat
good.
suit. And Ryan Reynolds, yes, he totally did the fat suit.
It's awesome.
It's so funny.
So the whole beginning, he's fat. There's some funny moments there. One of my other favorite scenes, just anything with like Ryan's character's mom in it. There's a scene where he's talking on the phone and his mom gets on the phone too, and it's like. You remember growing up when, like, now we have cell phones, there are different lines and everything, but the house phone, if someone else got on the other house phone, they were talking.
Get off the other line.
Yeah, for real. And
I can hear you breathing.
So his mom gets on and thinks she's calling her friend, and then she's like, hello, Joyce. And he's like, Mom. She's like, what are you doing at Joyce's? No, Mom, I'm in the living room. like that kind of, just because I remember as a kid talking to, like, I would call a friend and my mom would pick up the phone and she's like, oh, I didn't know you were on the, like, but while I got you here, what do you want for dinner? And I'm like, I'm literally down the hallway, yeah. Like, she's like, well, okay, instead of yelling up the stairs, like, we're having fish sticks for dinner. And I'm like, I don't want fish sticks. Okay. But like, so that was my other favorite scene. And then there's obviously the part where Anna Faris falls in the mall.
Anna Faris, scene stealer in this movie. Oh my god! Like, why do I miss her doing things? Like,
I miss her doing good things. She
does a podcast that's actually really funny.
Does she?
She has a podcast that's what she like her main thing is right now. But like, yeah, she doesn't do too many movies anymore. Like House Bunny was like the last good one.
Yeah. And
but yeah, Anna Faris in this though is so funny. It's so such good. A ridiculous role. But I mean, she's
it's so over the top, but it's like she plays it so well.
Mm-hmm. Like, and because she does have like this like druggy Britney kind of look in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
And they play it off the pop star is like that. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a super funny movie, and it's like, but then it's like. This movie, I forget, like it goes in and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna get back at her, and that's like that's the game at first, like, oh, I'm gonna get back at her, haha, because I'm
it's like she tortured me through high school, and now I wanted to see how glorious my life is, and there's part of me that I think we all have that desire of people who've hurt us before. We want them to see like, hey, despite your rejection or whatever, I succeeded. I've made it. Look what I did. And I think he almost wants to hurt her in that way of like, oh, you stayed here and you work for this crappy bar, but I'm doing big things. Like, look what you missed out on, kind of thing. And
that's not hard from people from my high school, because most of them are still there. Like a good chunk of them still there. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, no, I think everybody does kind of have that of just like, yeah, I kind of want to stick it to you. And it's like, I tell people all the time, like, man, whenever I'm like back home in Arnold and stuff, I'm like, man, if I go to Walmart especially, I'm like, fuck, I hope I don't see anybody I know. But it's like at the same time, I'm like, yo, I am so much hotter than I was 5 years ago. I want you to see me, but I ain't going to say shit to you, because like I ignore the fuck out of people. Like, I do. I straight up do. So it's like, I kind of do want you to see me, but don't fucking talk to me.
Don't
look, but you can't
Don't
touch.
think you're in my life, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those kind of things. But yeah, it's a very relatable movie. It's very funny. So, okay. But like, okay, because I like hearing people's. I'm not going to attack your favorite movie here.
Oh gosh.
But I have two questions to pose to you about it though.
Oh my goodness.
Because one, would you have liked this movie better?
Do not fight me. What are you about to say?
She's not bad.
No, Amy.
But it's like, do you think you would have liked it better if you would have had a more like, recognizable face, more popular person? Like, think of the time. So we're 2005. Like, Brittany Murphy was real in that.
Here's what I think.
In that genre there.
Just
I don't know.
As this being my favorite movie, here's what I think it is. I think that was a strategic decision to get not a A-list celebrity, because it gave us that.
Because even Ryan Reynolds still wasn't like an A-lister at the
Right.
moment. Like,
he was kind of emerging, but he was the bigger name on the bill for sure. But it gave her an innocent kind of quality to be the small town girl. And
make it more convincing that she would stay in the small
town.
Like, she's pretty enough
because
to
she's
be
beautiful, but she's not like. she's not a model, and
she's a
I mean, she's very attractive. I had the biggest crush on her, but
she's a small town 8 LA 6, like
right. That's
deal.
like that kind of thing where I think they wanted to give her
mean.
well, I mean, I think they wanted to give her that innocence of she's not like, it would be unrealistic. I always thought it was unrealistic with Megan Fox and Transformers being with Shia LaBeouf. Like, I was like, there's no way that would happen.
It would happen now because Shia LaBeouf is hot as fuck now.
True. Yeah.
And Megan Fox is all plastic looking. I love Shia LaBeouf. But that's beside the point. Sorry, sidetracked me.
5-star reviews for Shia LaBeouf.
You Shia tracked me.
But I mean, it wasn't someone who everyone is raving over on the internet. She's not unattractive. She is very attractive, but I like that it kind of gave her a lesser known person that, I think
not only that though, I think they could have also gotten like a more comedic actress a little bit.
Maybe.
Because I mean, it like.
But the other characters are so big, like honest
the characters are so big, and it's
and
just like, it is hard to like, especially with Ryan Reynolds. So I mean, I guess you got grounded a little bit.
Yeah.
So do you like? My second question is like, for these type of movies, because like it depends on the type of movie.
Yeah,
I think it works for this movie, and it's like, but I can imagine if it was in another movie, I could see myself being like, oh, like the extremely happy ending. Like, I mean, this movie has the prettiest bow tied on the top of it, and it's just like, ding. And it's like, it does work because like this whole movie has been, on that level of just kind of like
over the top,
up a couple
stuff.
levels. Yeah. So it works, but it's just like, so how do you feel about that in like these kind of comedies in general? I guess?
Obviously in those kind of comedies, I like the happy ending. I did like, I don't know. I think what I liked about the ending was that, it wasn't any kind of tactic or any kind of game that won the girl. It was him going back and being like, yeah, hey, this is just how I felt. To me, it was like he spent the whole movie trying so hard. When he first got to town, he was like, oh, I'm LA, I'm all this hot stuff kind of thing. And then when his friend says, well, I think she's matured. I think she kind of likes, the softer kind of guy. Then he went completely opposite. He put his retainer back in, wore this sweater with a shirt or anything. Like he was trying so hard. Yep. And I think what makes the ending less cheesy for me is that at the end he just went back and was like, this is how I feel. And that's what won it over. I mean, yeah, it's a cheesy ending. Yeah, they end up together. But I think it does show of like she didn't reject him.
Sure.
Sure. I enjoy movies with realistic endings.
True.
I do, but I think,
like I said, it works for this movie for sure. And it's like, but no, and that totally makes sense. Cause it's like a lot of these movies, like one of the flaws, it's like the main conflict could be avoided if the protagonist would just tell the truth. And it's just like, boom, here you go. And he tells the truth at the end, and it's like, bam, like you did it for once. Like for once in these movies.
And I think they showed the contrast the whole time of, which is what a big problem in a lot of relationships are, or the friend zone even, is that these guys are just trying so hard, like exhausting themselves, being something that they're not, which I've done before in relationships, to be something that I'm not at all, to where I'm like pretending to like certain music or doing these things just to get this girl. And at the end of the day, like even if I did get her, then 10 years from then, am I still going to be trying that hard? Am I still going to be like...
And that's what he said. He even said, he's just like...
yeah, he's just like,
we could be friends, but that's not gonna happen.
That's not what I want. Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I said, I hadn't watched this movie in years, and it was a great to revisit it. Like super funny still, definitely holds up. I mean, like it's crazy to think 2005 was 12 years ago. Like that's fucking weird. But no, this movie holds up. It's a fantastic one. And then so you mentioned movies with realistic endings. And ironically, the movie I'm talking about has a very happy ending as well. But I want you to check out this movie. I think it contrasts really well with this one because it's a little indie movie. It's called What If, and it's with Daniel Radcliffe. I forget what the girl's name is. While I'm talking about it, I'm gonna Google it. But so this movie basically, this Daniel Radcliffe's character meets her at a party, and then they hit it off. And all this good stuff. They talk at the party, and it's a good time. And there's not like, any flirting or anything going on. And then, but at the same time, you can tell he's obviously interested, and he just gets out of a relationship. So he's like, oh, look at this girl. And then literally they're like about to leave. And then she goes, oh, here, I'll give you my number. And then he was like, oh, okay. And then she's writing her number, and she's like, yeah, I gotta go. My boyfriend's probably wondering where I am. And she literally says my boyfriend while she's writing her number on a piece of paper. Zoe Kazan, that's her name. Fuck, I should have known that. Zoe Kazan. But yeah, so they become super good friends. Like, but it's a very genuine, like, the friendship of, because like girls' perspective, like I said, we're gonna get into this here in a minute. But it's like the general girl perspective is like the guy, if you hear that he has feelings, and even if it is a genuine friendship, you're like, so you've been doing this whole time just because you're trying to get at me. And it's like, no, you got to remember, like, having a crush on somebody isn't just trying to sleep with them. It's like, you obviously are best friends.
Right.
And it's like, and if you're attractive, that's what leads to, feelings and shit. So they have this like legit friendship or whatever. And she is actually his best friend's cousin. And so he's battling back and forth because her and her boyfriend, they've been together for like 5 years too. Yeah. And it's like, it's one of the situations like the boyfriend's a good dude. So it's like you'd feel even worse. Yeah. Like, Dude,
you need to watch, side note, Take This Waltz with Seth Rogen. It's an indie film where the movie wants you to root for the wife who is like having the side affair, but it's so much easier to do that if the guy's a jerk.
Exactly.
But Seth Rogen's the husband, and he's not a jerk. Like, he just loves his wife.
If it's a good dude, it's just like
it's hard to root for like the main character.
Yeah,
doing something to someone else that you're like, but they're not mean. That's not a bad relationship.
No, and it's like, I'm not bragging here, but let's just say there was a phase of my life that people know as Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't I was stealing girls, but I mean, that's just, the song was popular at the time, Trey songs and all that good stuff. But there was a time where it was just like, for some reason, all the girls I was attracted to happened to have boyfriends. And it's just like, who knows what happened, but code was, if he's a good dude, you got backup.
Yeah.
So it's like in this movie, her boyfriend's actually a good dude.
I think the code is that if she's in a relationship, you got to back up.
Well,
but I don't. I think we're going to clarify. I think that's
alternative codes.
Oh my goodness.
Alternative codes. But no. So in this movie, they actually have this really good friendship. They hang out a bunch and stuff, and like you can tell they're supposed to be together. And it's a thing like they both have feelings, but it's just like the fact that neither one of them says anything is what makes it worse, And then stuff happens. They get put in situations, obviously, things like that. But this isn't like a wacky shenanigans situations. Like, this is a pretty, like, the most realistic depiction I've seen of the friend zone.
Sure.
There's literally a scene where Wallace is walking with his best friend, and they're going over the scenarios on, like, what to do. He's like, okay, so this is what's going to happen if you tell her the truth. This is what's going to happen if you make a move but don't tell her the truth.
Yeah.
And here's what you do if this happens. And he like literally lists it out, and it makes so much sense. I don't want to ruin it for you because you haven't seen it.
Right, I'm going to watch it.
But I think, like I said, it's the most realistic depiction I've seen. And but then again, it also gets the kind of cliche. She was just like, so this whole time you've been just wanting to sleep with me? And I'm like, come on, it's more than that. So I won't get to...
No, I just want a relationship where it's actually like a good friendship and connection.
Where you're
how dare I?
You're best friends. See, what I tell people all the time is, because like I usually get into this more like when people talk about being shallow. I don't think that exists. I think because what's the difference between being a friend and more than a friend? It's intimacy. It's attraction. That's the main difference. Because, like, ideally, at least, like, you want somebody, like you said, that you're dating to be your best friend. So it's like, it's hard not to fall for somebody if you're attracted to them and your best friends. You know what I mean?
Here's what I think the root of just the friend zone is a lack of boundaries.
It's a lack of boundaries, lack of communication as well.
I think it's a... I think where it gets harmful, where it hurts people, is the lack of, like, for example, I don't text girls after 11 p.m. if I'm not interested in dating them.
Fair.
And I don't ride in the car one-on-one with a girl unless I'm interested in dating her. I don't.
That's an interesting one.
I know. I don't hang out one-on-one with a girl unless I'm interested in dating her.
At all.
If I can avoid it.
Not even coffee.
Nope.
What about brunch? Brunch is pretty innocent.
Nope. Which there's times where I'm doing work at Starbucks and a girl will sit down at my table and it's like, oh hey, I haven't seen you in a while, and that's something that
that's a perchance.
I didn't
thing,
put myself in that situation. Okay, yes,
that makes sense. I have certain parameters too, like ish.
And if I do go to coffee with a girl, if it's someone who's like, hey, I'm passing through Kansas City or whatever, I would love to catch up with you. I will meet her there. I won't ride with together.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure it's in a public, not in the back corner. I'll make sure it's at a public table.
Yeah. So definitely lack of boundaries, lack of communication.
Because where the friend zone gets complicated is in those scenarios we went over earlier. Is that if a girl texts me and says, "Hey, will you come help me build my my bookshelf?" Then I go to her house. It's just us together, and like that's a boundary that I didn't have when I was in high school. I didn't have early on in college. So of course I went and did that. And of course I developed feelings because we're hanging out one-on-one and we're, I'm attracted to her, and we have not only like a physical attraction, but there's an emotional intimacy there we're having conversations of who we are and who we want to be and those kind of things. And we're crossing all of these boundaries that, if we're having a talk in a coffee shop, we're not going to get into an emotional talk or whatever. She's not going to be crying and sharing emotions. I'm not going to be crying for no reason, like
or this furniture just really puts you in a vulnerable spot.
Honestly,
just really gets you going.
Like I have to avoid IKEA. It's a stumbling block.
Like it's right next to YouPorn in your bookmarks. It's porn IKEA. YouPorn IKEA, like right next to each other.
You should read the iTunes reviews.
So it's like we said. So we're so before.
Sorry, that was a random tangent.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I mean, you gotta get to your stuff, but I mean, we're still on good time. It's all good. So before we get into story time to close out, so it's like I said, we're gonna get to the other side here.
Yeah.
So say you are a girl. Let's put ourselves in that scenario. We've been saying a guy girl this whole time. It's like that's just like the stereotypical. That's what it's always
our
been.
Life. That's our life.
Our life.
That's our experience.
Yeah, this is our life, our experience. It's my show. Don't judge me, motherfuckers. But that's also kind of what it's generally depicted on.
Just rate 5 stars on iTunes.
That's judging rating. Judging has that negative connotation to it. But it's like when you watch, but that's like the general consensus.
Right.
On TV,
we're not
on movies
discriminating against anybody. We're not saying like this is whatever.
But
we're speaking from the experience we have.
So pretend you were me doing my feminine voice earlier. We're gonna put ourselves in their situation here. So you have a guy. You've been, or it's a guy-girl best friend thing. And so we're gonna keep using this IKEA example because I think this is an easy example. What if? So in your head, you're a girl. You need to put together your IKEA shelf, and it's like, what if she would come at it as like, hey, I need help. Will you help me? Not hey, come build it for me, and I'll buy a 6-pack and we can split it, and you can help me put it together. Or is that like even more like intimate?
I don't think the situation in itself is intimate.
It's not an intimate thing, but like you said, the one-on-one.
It's just the one-on-one, and honestly, I have a best friend who's a female, and we have this discussion all the time of, hey, I don't want anything more, and she's like, I don't either. So we have that communication open. But let's say one day she says, oh, I think I do have a crush on you. Then the way that I hate, like if in that situation, let's say I need help building furniture and I genuinely need help. I usually will text someone else first before
you text the person that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like honestly, yesterday, my friend Lauren helped me address some envelopes because I mailed out 30 DVDs. So we met at Starbucks and she helped me address some of these envelopes.
But also, this is in the Starbucks, definitely.
Right. It's not a, hey, let's come to my house and help me do these. Yeah, and
I made a playlist.
Not even because I'm like, and I know those boundaries sound extreme, but it's not like I'm like, well, if we're alone, then it's just going to happen. No, it's just that, we're in the middle of Starbucks. There is no room for, if she's having that conversation with a friend, and be like, yeah, he wanted me to meet him at Starbucks. There's no room for her friend to be like, well, that sounds romantic. Yeah. There's no room for anybody to misinterpret things. Is kind of the whole thing.
And I think like a better way to put it, like, because we're trying to get into their shoes here. So it's like you gotta think girls. Like I think there's a different dynamic because like when you hear a girl say like, oh, I hang out with mostly guys because I don't get along with girls. But I understand.
Bull crap on that, first of all. I don't
understand it because girls are fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Like,
yes,
girls
but here's the
are
thing.
fucking crazy. Girls are like putting two fucking like Wolverines in a cage together.
Here's what I think though.
So it's like guy to guy relationships are guy friendships are simple. They're simpler. So it's like I think girl to girl relationships are more complicated. Sure. So I think coming on a girl's aspect, it's easier to have guy friends because it's like this is a simpler friendship as long as the guy keeps it simple.
Also, they flirt with me, and I kind of like that validation. That's 9 out of 10 of those friendships.
That is also there. Yes, that is also.
If girls are honest with themselves, I call that all the time because I used to be the person who's like, I just like hanging out with girls. You know, it's easier.
Oh well, you know what?
Yeah, because I can flirt and joke and all that stuff with them, and like even if it's harmless, even if it's just like I'm not attracted to you, but like we still have this banter.
Yeah,
there is still some
we're
kind
such
of
good
like
friends, and she wears my jacket all the time.
Horse crap. Like it's just you're seeking validation from it. So if you're listening to this and you're the girl who's got just guy friends, check yourself first of all.
Well, I didn't say like just guy friends.
No,
just like they prefer.
Like, I
it's like the
hanging
preference.
out with guys. What? No, you like being validated. You like being flirted with. You like feeling important in the eyes of men. If you're honest with yourself about it,
compliments are harmless. You can,
because it's like
they're not creepy coming from.
They're not because they're a friend who's like, hey,
they're not creepy then.
And then and honestly, that's what I've learned about myself in the last few years. Is that's why I've hung out with girls all the time.
Yeah, and
if I'm honest with myself,
yes, and I'm
not saying every.
No, I've been there too.
9 out of 10.
Trust me, I've been there multiple times, and it took me a long time to learn my lesson.
Yeah,
I didn't learn my lesson until like 3 years ago. But I always had the real close female friend. We'll get to that here, and it's like with story time. So it's like the last point we'll get to on the friend zone before we get into the story time.
From the girl's perspective.
From the girl's perspective, so you're a girl, and I can see where girls would get frustrated because, like, even like you just said, if you're being honest with you, you'll have multiple friends, because I can flirt with you, blah blah blah. Like, I get the frustration from a girl.
If you're a girl and you're like, okay, this is something I can't lift on my own, or whatever it is that you need an actual you need somebody else to come help you lift this or whatever. Invite more than one person.
Yeah. Okay, not even in just that though. Like not even just like you need something. Just like you're the girl, and it's like you constantly have guys coming at you, and you don't know if it's because of they are genuine friends or if they are genuine try to get in your pants. I think it does go more that way for the girls. So it's like, I can see the frustration in girls going just like, fuck, like, God, get these dicks out of my face. I just want to
be friends with someone.
I just want to, can we read some books or something? Like, damn.
Sure.
So I don't know. So it's like I do see the frustration at times.
I get that frustration, but here's what I'm saying. I think if you're doing that in a group setting, great. If you have guy friends that you're hanging out in a group, awesome. But if you're like, oh, I have this group of friends, you're the only girl in the group, and then you're like, yeah, but I hang out with each of them one-on-one sometimes. Like, stop doing what you're doing. Stop.
And see,
not because I think that guy's gonna like try to make a move on you or whatever, but stop what you're doing because you're reaching for something that's not there.
And so I think what it boils down to for me, like the final point, I think what it boils down to is like the difference between the girls and the guys in these different situations are. Come down to kind of general thinking. Guys can usually see things for how they are. I'd say guys are usually more blunt and just kind of like, I see this situation, and like you said, girl is going to come up with these reasons to try to justify it. It's like girls think too much, and it's like they think too much and then miss what's in front of them. So it's like I think so it's like guys will not think enough and they'll act too quick. And it's like, and then the girls think too much to where they miss the point completely.
I think on either end, because there's times where I overthink things, or like I'll read too much into a situation. So I don't know if it's a gender specific thing, but I think on either end, if you have those boundaries in place, I think it comes down to making decisions based on, I have a friend who's not trying to get my pants, and I like hanging out with him or her. Because it's different than the other relationships I have with other guys or other girls or whatever your situation is. It comes down to I've got to be intentional about my friendships. Because I'm going to treat my friends like friends. I'm going to treat my relationships like relationships. Because what's going to happen, the reason I keep as strict boundaries as I do is that I want, whenever I'm dating someone, I don't want my friendship with Lauren to have to change. I want whoever I'm dating to know that, I'm not going to hang out with other girls one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Or if there's a girl who texts me, she knows that I'm not going to reply to that text after 11 p.m. Because...
Shit, I waited to text Jaron until 10:52.
Who
knows if he's gonna see that message? Fuck.
Honestly, there are times where, and if someone texts
like,
but I'm honest up front.
Nah.
I'm honest up front with most of my friends that are girls. I say, here are my boundaries. I'm not going to text you after 11. If they text me after 11, I wait till the next morning to reply, and then I just reply like nothing happened. It's normal in my life.
Hey. Like I said, it's the lack of boundaries, lack of communication. Yeah. But the friend zone exists. That's the bottom line.
Oh, for sure.
Here.
The friend zone exists because
the girls that deny the friend zone are like people that deny that the Holocaust happens. That might be a little extreme.
Gosh.
That's a little extreme.
Yeah.
But the friend zone exists, guys.
Right.
And you can't deny it. So, and to prove that you cannot deny it, that will transition into our very last segment. This is the story time segment of Deezus Take the Reel, guys. All right, so Jaron, I posed 2 different types of stories you could choose for this one. Usually I just tell people, hey, pick a story of this. Mm-hmm. But with the friend zone, we got 2 different ones. And just like the movies, you can have the bad ending or the good ending. Mm-hmm. So either A, because obviously we both have numerous experiences with this, so this shouldn't be hard to pick a story between either. So it's either a story where A, just like in the game that we played, did you escape the friend zone? Mm-hmm. Or B, are you going to tell the painful friend zone experience?
I escaped the friend zone. I did.
You did. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So, to sum up the long beginning, in 2013, my whole life fell apart. I flunked out of college, had to move back to my hometown. Was in a really low place in life. This girl that I had saved up money. I was going to buy a ring, and I was going to marry this girl. And she had just broken up with me. She had ended it all for basically. Anyway, yeah, she ended everything and started dating my best friend. Is what happened. So it was awful, right? So
oh damn.
So it was a really bad time in life, and I had just met this girl, and we went on a date in December, and we had been texting or whatever, and kind of becoming friends, and over Christmas break, I texted her and I said, hey, when we get back to school, because I thought I was going back to school at the time. Or when I said, well, when you come back to school, I'd like to take you on a date. And she said, and she had been at home in Louisiana for Christmas break. And she said, actually, I'm not coming back to school. I'm staying here in Louisiana. I was like, oh, shoot. Okay. So we just began texting every day. We called every once in a while. We became best friends over the next year. So this is all of 2014 that we're best friends, and it was pretty bad. So,
but it was just strictly. for the most part, phone. Just for the most,
we FaceTime every once in a while. Yeah, so it wasn't like we hung out or anything.
Yeah.
And then Valentine's came around in February, and I was like, hey, I actually like you, kind of thing. And I had that awkward conversation where, because I tried to be upfront and communicate hey,
but you had you been turned down? You brought
this was the first time I was being turned down. So okay. This is 2014 still. We'd only been friends for 3 months, and I said, hey, I kind of feel this. And she was like, oh, dude, you're in Missouri, I'm in Louisiana. I don't feel that, kind of thing. So anyway, this kept happening, and then I was on tour that summer, and I went down to Louisiana, just happened to be in the neighborhood. So I texted her and said, hey, we're on tour. We don't want to buy a hotel. Can we just stay at your house for these 2 days? Because these shows are kind of close to there. And she said, yeah, totally. And I was like, okay. And so
how many of there were you?
There's just me and my friend, Tim.
Oh, okay.
There's just 2 of us. Yeah. And so I was like, this is going to happen. We're going to I was like, I'm going to get her to fall in love with me during these 2 days that she's showing me around, Louisiana or whatever. And so she was just fine with us being friends or whatever. I hadn't mentioned it since Valentine's Day, that I liked her or whatever. I was just fine being friends with a crush on her, right? So we get to Louisiana, and and it's like the day before we get there, and she texts me and goes, "Oh my gosh, there's some kind of family emergency." So her and her mom flew from Louisiana back to Kansas City, where they're originally from, for her grandparents, and it was just me, Tim, and her dad that weekend. So, so I ended up meeting Brett, her dad, and I was there, and so we stayed there the few days, and he just treated us like we were people. He had no idea that I was.
Is this where the dad play came in? You're just.
I was trying. I mean, like he didn't. I think he's pretty clueless that I was like in love with his daughter. And so I didn't see her then. So it was like, dang. I was so excited too. The whole tour.
Oh, shit.
The whole tour. I kept talking to Tim. I'm like, dude, I can't wait to be in Louisiana, because it was like a month-long tour, and this is like week 3. So like for 3 weeks, Tim's sitting in the van with me as I'm talking, like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna get down there. Like I just can't wait. Like,
and then Tim's like, hey, the Louisiana show's canceled.
Dude, like he was getting so frustrated. So then we're there. I was like, crap, this is awkward. Anyway, and then I saw her at some point later in the fall. She came back went to Kansas City or something. Anyway, I saw her one time in the fall. That was about it. And then Christmas came around, and I decided this is when I'm making, because we would literally talk every day, like for the whole day for that whole year. And like if we didn't, it was weird, like something happened or something. It was like weird. So Christmas came around, and I was like, I've got to make some kind of like move. So I sent her a gift. And in that gift, I included the ticket stub, because we went to Silver City on our first date. I included the ticket stub from our first date. That was a move. That's a
real bold move.
So I sent it, and
see if it works out for him. Cotton.
Yeah. So she texted me. There's a bunch of like other BS things in there. I put a framed photo of myself, like signed to my #1 fan or whatever. It was stupid. It was really funny though. So I did that, and I remember her texting me, and she was like, my whole family's giving me crap about this right now, because they made me open it in front of all of them. And she was like, my grandma was like, that boy likes you.
Oh shit.
And so it opened up the conversation where she was like, yeah, my grandma was like, that boy likes you. And
it's
I was
kind of
like,
unavoidable now.
yeah, I was like, yeah, dude, I do like you, obviously. And so she, that was the second time we had the conversation, was December of 2014, a year later. And she was like, dude, no, like I think, and I was like, that's fine. And so
you're resilient,
dude. So I just kept up with the friendship, and we kept talking every day. Then there was like, I made some jokes about it. Like I was trying, because she was like talking about some man bun thing one day, and I was like, if I got a man bun, then would you date me? And then she said this, and this is where I was like, okay, cool. She was like, yeah, if you grew out your hair and got a 6-pack abs, I would date you. And I was like, that's rude.
Rude, but she's playing into it.
I was like,
so she's on board a bit.
All right. But I was hurt by that, because I was fat at the time, right? So she's like,
so
this was like, you get a 6-pack abs, and I'm like, oh, all right, that's what's keeping it. That was my mentality. So, so like that hurt.
A dagger.
Yeah, so I just didn't text her for like a week. So I was like, screw this. And then I texted her like it was normal, because I just couldn't help myself, I guess. So that was January. February rolls around, Valentine's Day. I didn't say anything this time.
You're like, I'll sit this one out,
coach. Like, whatever. And then I went to Texas one time, and I put it on Facebook, and I just said, hey, does anybody want to go to Texas with me? I got a 6-hour drive, one show in Dallas, then we're back. And this random girl was like, hey, I have some friends in Dallas that I'm trying to see. Is it weird if I go? And at the time I was like, sure, whatever. So I took this random girl that I hadn't met before to Dallas with me. Ended up being super cool. I like that girl. She's awesome. But after the trip, I'm telling Kaylee about this, and I was like, dude, this girl was like actually really cool. Like it was a lot of fun.
And then she
got jealous. She did. She did get jealous, and I was like, wait, like why is this a big deal? Like what? She's like, don't tell me about that. Who cares? And I was like, okay. So that was February. This is where it starts rolling. Was February 25th, right? And so she's kind of like, and she's moved back to Kansas City at this point. So now she lives in Kansas City. So now we're only 3 hours apart. And so March, I filmed the DVD, March 28th. And I texted her like a couple weeks before, and I said, hey, I don't know if this is weird or not. It would just mean a lot to me if you came to this. I would really love for you to see, what I do. So the DVD comes around. She drives down and comes to the DVD show. We go out to dinner afterwards. She's there the next day. We hang out. We talk. she leaves, and I like called my best friend, and I was like, I'm screwed, dude. Like, I'm in love with this girl. And so that was March 28th that I did that. Her birthday was April 6th, so I went up for her birthday, and because all of her friends were busy, it was like a Thursday, and her parents or her grandparents were out of town, so she had the house to herself, just doing nothing. And so I was like, you're just alone on your birthday? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm driving up to Kansas City. We're going to dinner for your birthday. I drove up. We hung out on her birthday, and then I don't remember how it happened.
Birthday sex.
No, we didn't do that. But I just planted one on her. I just went for it, and I kissed her, and it was well received. So
there you go.
We started dating a few weeks later, and then we dated for about a little over a year, and then last summer she ended it, and then today we were texting like, it's fine. I'm fine. That was super vague ending, but she ended it last summer. We hadn't talked, like last year was just really stupid and really difficult. And then, so now I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh shit. I thought you had said you guys were still together now. That's not the ending I thought was going to happen.
It's not the ending. No, it ended because, things just got weird. And then she won't listen to this. Who cares? No, maybe she will. Who knows? Kaylee, if you hear this, I'm just kidding.
Check outside your window.
check out your iTunes ratings. I keep doing that.
Damn.
So
that's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Like you even had the dates and everything.
Oh yeah, dude, I knew everything. And now it's almost like I'm back in the friend zone, like we've been talking the last few weeks or whatever. And so I don't know what's gonna happen, but
damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's see. We
got married. She died. I
thought I was gonna tell my sad friend zone story, because I was gonna try to juxtapose them, like have one good, one bad one.
Oh.
But that one is a very you saw my face while I'm listening to the story. I'm like, God, this is great.
It was a great relationship.
And man, so many
awesome.
shout outs to Louisiana on this show all the time, because my family's from Louisiana. Yeah. Like my dad and them, they're from Lafayette. And like my dad listens.
They were in Mandeville, which is New Orleans.
So yeah, like shout out to Louisiana as usual. But
humidity sucks, but I like it.
It's gross. It's gross. But yeah, but no, that's a crazy story. So okay, I'll give you an option here. Story A is my first friend zone story. This is between middle school and high school, so that's always
I want that
juicy.
one. I don't even care what the other one is.
You want that one?
I want that one.
Okay. This one's really interesting. So it's a weird thing. Like do you ever think of your life like in phases?
Yeah.
Like you're just like, okay, there was this time, and then there was this time.
Yep. There was this time I wore button-up shirts, and there was this time I wore khakis every day.
Hey, there was a time I wore camo cargo shorts.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
black. I'm
it's
not
right
supposed
now.
to do that.
It's right now. If you can't see it because it's a podcast, he's currently wearing camo cargo shorts.
Everyone knows I don't wear pants usually when I record these. But so this is my first one, but it's like a lot of my phases in life kind of correlate to like my girlfriends. I've only had 3 girlfriends total, like real girlfriends. And this is pre high school girlfriend.
The other ones were just sex dolls that I pretended to be girls. Real girlfriends, though, those are different.
Alternative girlfriends.
But
this story predates my first girlfriend, so this is leading into like phase.
You're just figuring out how to feel about girls.
I'm figuring shit out. So there's this girl in middle school. And I actually have some follow-up to this story as of recently.
Middle school love is the most genuine love.
Something,
because you don't know. You have no idea.
That is so true. Like, you don't know what the fuck is going on.
You have no idea about the hurt that's in store for you.
So it's also weird because, like, people at different phases of puberty and stuff.
Yeah. There's 8th graders who are like 6'3" and could like destroy things. And there's other ones who are still wearing like youth-sized clothes.
Yeah. So start off 7th grade is when we start being friends. Like second semester 7th grade, we have a science class because I switched into her science class. Switching to science class. I don't know how I'm all of a sudden remembering these. I have a really good memory too. Not the dates maybe, but I have really good memory. Well, no, because this girl's going to come back into play like in the present.
She's currently going to listen to this podcast.
I don't know if she listens to this podcast or not. She likes some of my stuff on Instagram.
Oh, you're in.
You're
in, man. You're in. What's her name?
We'll remain unnamed for now, but if this person does listen, she would know that I'm talking about her. But we don't talk like now. Like, we don't talk.
Dude,
but
slide into her DMs.
So I thought about it the other day. We're getting ahead of ourselves in the story because this does catch up. This comes full circle a little bit. I mean, just a team.
Comes almost full circle because the full circle is when
it's
you DM her.
Exactly. So so 7th grade, we're friends. We're super great friends. We had known each other, but we're like, just whatever friends. But then we like started being like super friends, passing notes in class, like all that funny stuff, doing homework together, all that good jazz. And then summer break happens. We become really good friends over summer break. Hang out and stuff, become really good friends, all that good jazz. And like I said, people are in different phases of puberty in middle school. 7th grade, she was still very middle schoolish and all that good jazz,
Oh, God.
8th
grade comes around.
8th grade comes on, but here's the thing: I'm there along for the metamorphosis. Though, okay? It wasn't like we pieced out at the end of the school year like they do in movies and say "see you in August." Like
we were little caterpillars, and then I was there through the cocoon.
I was
stage.
the cocoon.
You, gosh.
So over the summer, Tessa starts getting a little shit.
Tessa!
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah!
What was that? So
Tessa, if you're listening, we think you're a beautiful butterfly now.
She knows it. So Tessa over the summer, she gets her braces taken off.
Oh yeah,
then,
dude, that's
the game changer right there. She gets the braces taken off. And she just starts looking a little older.
If you're in high school right now
stuff,
and you are like friends with the girl, but you're like, oh man, she's got braces.
No,
you lock that down now. You lock it down now.
If you're there pre-braces.
Oh.
But so yeah, she loses the braces. She starts getting real cute and everything. Mm-hmm. And then are you trying to find her, aren't you?
No, of course not.
Yes, you are.
No,
Yeah,
of course not.
So we're real good friends. Middle school, I had a girlfriend during middle school. Like, middle school girlfriend, though. Still slightly different. But I had a girlfriend, so me and her, we were still just best friends.
I found her, guys. I found her, and I showed him a picture, and he went, no. Oh, I found her. So while you're telling the story, I am
stalking.
You're
creeping. That's
yes.
Okay. So, but yeah, no. So we're just friends all through 8th grade. We're just friends. Okay. There's also a caveat because this happened often because I'm a mixed feller here, and where I'm from, there's not a lot of us. There's a lot of Bosnians. The Bosnians outnumber the black people where I'm from.
Really?
It goes white people, Bosnians, and black people. Like, I'm not even joking.
Wow.
And it was a common thing. Like, I've had girls that like their parents or like grandparents or someone's racist. Like it happens. It fucking sucked, but this happened. And her dad wasn't racist, but he's very stiff. Makes sense. You know what I'm getting at? Like he's not like because we would talk and stuff. We've had conversations about.
Devon, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you showed up to take my daughter out, though, I'd be. Not even because the coach.
Well, this is pre-tattoos and green hair.
You look. Okay.
This is pre-tattoos and green hair currently.
Okay. I'm gonna need pictures of you in 7th grade.
Oh my goodness! I actually haven't changed much. I was looking at pictures of myself yesterday, but it would be one of those things like, hey, if we hung out
at that, I was just looking at pictures of myself in 7th grade yesterday, just checking myself out.
Well, you've seen that Instagram trend going on 3 years ago, current.
Oh yeah.
I was looking.
I was creeping,
but yeah, but it was more just one of those things like if we hung out at her place, it was like, yeah, come over when my dad's at work. If my mom's home, her mom was super cool. Mom was super chill.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, and
so you like, yeah,
and her older sister is best friends with my best friend's older sister.
Is that her?
No.
Oh, okay.
That is not her. I was like, wait, hold on.
You're like, wait a minute.
But yeah, but then freshman year happens. Yeah. So freshman year, because we're still really good friends, and then we're going into high school now, and there were a trio of us.
Okay.
There was a trio.
So there's another person.
There was another person.
Guy or girl?
Take a guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's my best friend. My best friend at the time. Me and this guy.
No.
Me and Kyle were best friends from 6th grade through through 10th grade, and then we all kind of had a falling out here. But so there's a trio of us.
10th grade, Tessa
there's
and Kyle
a trio
became
of
a
us.
thing.
Actually, it happened freshman year. So it always been Kyle knew how much I fucking wanted Tessa.
Yes!
Because me and Kyle were super tight. Like, he knew. He always knew. And then them two would always try to play it off like, because I would suspect it. I'm like, yo, is there something going on? They're just like, no, ain't nothing going on. And they would just like pretend like they didn't have feelings. It's like other people would be like,
Tessa, you dick.
Everybody would be like, oh, did you hear about Tessa and Kyle? I'm like, man, it should be Tessa and Devon. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're supposed to be asking if you heard about, but no. So they would always play it off.
I just want to point out the stark difference between your names. Like, Tessa is the generic white girl name, and then Devon.
Hey, any couple name with my name in it goes well. Like, my name goes well with like any girl's name. Like,
really?
This is a fact.
Amanda and Devon. Oh,
works.
Dang.
It just depends on which way you've put it, but it always works.
Stephanie and Devon. That would.
All the syllables, it works out. But anyways, so
Gertrude and Devon.
Devon and Gertrude.
Dang, you got it. You killed it.
Boom. So there's a trio, and it was never a big deal. But it's just they knew. Right. Everyone was aware where everyone stood, except for Tessa didn't know that Kyle had feelings. Everyone else knew where everybody else stood here.
Yeah.
And then, so in our high school, we shared lockers. That was a big thing. Because think of this, I was telling somebody about this yesterday. So if you had a bottom locker, get with somebody who had a top locker.
Yep.
You split the top locker for your books, put all your bags and clothes and like gym shoes in the bottom one.
Yeah.
One of the more genius things we ever came up with. But yeah, so that happens. So Kyle and Tessa are sharing a locker together.
Did you call him Tylen?
Yeah, I'm already giving them
like a couple named Tile.
Yeah, that's how much I cared about this couple. That's what their couple name is, Tile. But yeah, so they're sharing a locker, and I'm like, oh shit, is there some like? I don't know. And it's like you would share lockers with your best friends. They shared a couple. You would share.
They shared a locker.
Huh?
They shared a locker.
They shared a locker together, and it was either you shared a locker with your best friend, or you shared it with your boyfriend or girlfriend,
which is a mistake.
And so everybody was like, yo, so what's going on between Tessa and Kyle? They're sharing lockers and shit. Like, everyone knows that Devon likes Tessa, though, but who gives a shit? And
Devon gets this half locker on the other side of the hall.
I was so left out of the loop. I was in a whole different locker block at one point. But yeah, so they get together. This is freshman year. They get together for like literally like a month. And then I call both of them out like, you guys both suck. I literally was just like, both of them. I was like, why? Why are you guys dicks? And then I got a girlfriend, my very first girlfriend, sophomore year.
This is a real girl.
And then that's kind of what broke the whole trio together. And then that was the start of that phase.
Where are Tessa and Kyle now?
Kyle is, I don't know where he's at, but he is really big. He has a lot of muscles.
Oh,
he works for a fitness
Kyle,
place.
if you hear this, we respect you. We think you are the greatest. Please do not come beat us up.
So recently, I go to my first adult wedding. When I say my first adult wedding, like, after you turn 21, you can get drunk and like try to hook up with people at weddings. My first adult wedding, I was pretty excited. And it's like, hey, you know what happens at weddings? You see people you haven't seen in a while, and you never know what's going to go down. You never know what's going to happen. So that's what my mind, because like I said, this is Tyler's sister's wedding. So obviously Sarah's going to be there. Tessa's back in town because Tessa moved away after high school, but then she moved back after being in a very serious relationship, moved back. And she's at the wedding. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, shit. She looked damn good, too. Damn good. But
no braces.
Yeah. Oh. But it wasn't a very romantic wedding. I mean, it's a wedding, obviously it's romantic, but you know what I mean? Like there wasn't in the air like other singles trying to mingle. It wasn't one of those things. There were lots of old people at this wedding. I mean, I'm dazzling on the dance floor
old
as usual.
Like 50, because you think 50 is old.
Yeah, oh yeah. Real
bunch of old people in their 30s. Ugh.
Yeah, I show off my dance moves as I do at all weddings because I dance my ass off. She was barely phased. I was like, well, this is a lost cause. So didn't really.
You're trying to be a peacock over here, and she's not even paying attention.
So didn't even make any moves. I said, you know what?
But you follow her on Instagram.
Not be a thing.
You guys are friends on Facebook. That's how I found her.
I don't follow lots of people from high school on
you guys are,
Facebook or Instagram. There's just certain people I'm curious about,
Yeah, you're curious about her.
I'm just always curious.
I think she has a baby as her cover photo, though. I think she's.
Oh, she does not have a baby. I do know that.
This baby is a cover photo, is what I'm saying. So I don't know.
Oh, that's her old Facebook, I think.
That's her old baby? She used to have a baby? What is this? What do you mean that's her old? What?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she does not have. I'm 98% positive.
She updated this cover photo on March 3rd.
That's not her baby.
That's pretty recent. Let's see what the comments say.
I saw her 2 weeks
How
ago.
precious.
There was no baby.
Thank you. We're all pretty obsessed. What?
Yeah, we're all pretty obsessed, as in the people that don't own that baby.
Whose child is this? What child
Before I let
this?
Jaron dig too deep, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. This was, oh my goodness, Jaron, this was a fun ass episode. This was super great. This was a good ass time. Jaron, where can the good people find you so they can keep up with you?
Yeah, so I'm on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, at Jaron Myers, JaronMyers. Also, JaronMyers.com has all that info and my tour dates. So if you're in the Missouri area or anywhere across the country, I go all over. You may be able to catch me live and be my friend.
There you go. Yeah. Catch him, guys. He's a real funny guy. Tweets lots of funny things. At some point during the week, I will the Target and Walmart pictures will resurface. I'll do some promotions with it for you. But as always, you can find me on Twitter at Deezus12. Check the podcast Twitter at Deezus Take the Reel. Follow me on both because I need the validation. You guys know this already. Instagram Deezus.12 because that guy is still a dick. But make sure you guys follow everything. Episodes every Tuesday. Share and retweet this episode with your friends and their friends and the ones in the zone. Shout out to you
stuck in the zone. Keep fighting the good fight.
keep on keeping on. But I will catch you guys later. Stay weird, guys. Peace out, motherfuckers. Thank you so much for listening to Deezus Take the Reel, the dopest movie talk show on the internet. You can find me every Tuesday on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play Music, pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. If you like what you're listening to, write a 5-star iTunes review, and I'll read it on the Deez and T Money Show, which is every other Friday. And of course, spread this with ya homies. Last but not least, stay till the end for a little pre-recording something. Peace out, motherfuckers. Every time on the recorder, when you turn up the headphones, it's like caution, it may increase hearing damage, but it does it like literally every time. Like not even like when you're like getting close to the top, like at 30 or something.
Yeah,
like
anywhere.
I have it at 12 usually, and I was turning up to 14, and it was like, be careful, Devon. This might cause ear damage.
It's like, you may want to chill out.
I was like, thanks, recorder. I know. Alrighty, I think we are mic checked up. Let me check the music. Alrighty. Are you ready, my friend?
Let's do it.
All right. If you need to like use the bathroom or sneeze real hard, just like put your hand up and I can pause it if need be. But this is like an extreme sneeze though, like situation. Like, I mean, if you gotta sneeze, you gotta sneeze. I'm just saying,
right.
Extreme circumstances.